This TV show is getting a lot of backlash for apparently being too offensive. It's a super popular and wholesome TV show. Here's a little summary. Generally received pretty well. 89% like this TV show. Now the problem came in one of the recent episodes when they started off the segment with Bluey's dad basically saying, hey, I'm a little chubby in my tummy and I should probably lose some weight. And apparently that was enough to set off like a million alarm bells from the internet community, a bunch of the fat phobic community being like, this is really offensive and kids should not be taught to lose weight. In fact, the backlash got so big that they actually redid the intro to the episode. Here's the offensive clip in question. I'll be voicing over it, obviously, because I don't want to get striked. So basically, Bluey's dad is brushing his teeth and he walks onto the weighing scale. It beeps and he says, oh man, because he probably put on some pounds. So after that, Bluey comes in and he's just like, why did you say, oh man? And dad's just like, oh, I just need to do some exercise. Mom's like, tell me about it. Then we have Bluey like pouting, and then this is the infamous clip that they did not like, you know, squeezing the tummy. It looks a bit off-putting. Why don't you just do some exercise? Same old reason, Bluey. You kids and work, okay? He's got responsibilities like anybody else. Bluey's like, us? How dare you blame us? We're just kids. Well, why don't you do it right now? And because I'd be late for work. A lot of excuses here. Well, that wouldn't make my boss very happy. Well, how do you make your boss very happy? By not being late for work. Well, we don't want to get in the way of your exercise, and I think your boss would want you to be very happy as well. Yeah, maybe you're right, Bluey. And then I think they go into like exercise. And then we got the mom, and she's also like, oh man, because apparently she also put on some pounds. Okay, so pretty tame clip, honestly, but later on you'll see that there's like a bunch of TikTokers reacting to this saying how Bluey's actually let the kids of the world down. Apparently it's a cardinal sin to actually teach kids about exercise and that you need to maintain a healthy weight to healthily function in society. As usual, we had the infamous fat-phobic community being like, this is offensive to fat people, and how dare he say that we actually need to lose weight. Now, before we get into the whole viral TikTokers response, I just want to say that, you know, teaching kids to actually exercise and watch their weight is actually really important. Obviously not to the point where they're obsessing over it and they have a bad relationship with food, but obviously being overweight is obviously really bad for you, and not just health-wise, even like socially. Literally every single aspect of your life will suffer. Like your health is linked to your mind as well, so you'll have some cognitive decline, your career will suffer, your social life will suffer, your lifestyle will suffer. In fact, it's one of the most important things you can actually watch out for in life, and I feel like it should be definitely taught more in school rather than one PE class per week.
We recently screwed up in a pretty big way, and it's made a lot of people angry. But basically there's a brand new episode called Exercise, where at the start Bandit, Bluey's dad, grabs his belly, I'll show you a picture here, and kind of just looks at it and like goes to the scale, weighs himself and goes, ugh, I need to do exercise. That in and of itself is a really problematic narrative to have on a children's television show when we know that most girls by the time they're 9 think about dieting, think they're overweight, and really have a problem with body image already. There's a couple ways to solve this problem. The first one is that we just not let the kids watch the episode.
This is genuinely so dumb because what are you protecting the kids from? You think watching Bluey's dad grab his belly fat a little bit is somehow harmful to kids? You've got it backwards. Keeping that type of content away from kids and not telling them that diet and exercise is important is the worst thing you can do for their health, their career, and literally every aspect of their lives. We all know what happens when you are safeguarded from pretty much all criticism. You get to the point where we have these fully grown adults who are pretty much morbidly obese and they're hailed around as fat models. Teaching young girls that that's somehow something to be aspired. These people are literally eating themselves to death and we say that type of content is okay, but somebody saying they weighed a little too much on a scale is not okay.
We just not let the kids watch the episode, but that's not really going to work because kids are going to see this messaging in many places throughout their lives. So it's actually better to use this episode of a relatively safe children's television show to start the discussion about body image, about how we treat our body, about not body positivity or body negativity, but body neutrality. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter what your body looks like, it matters how it feels. And that's the most important thing that we need to teach our children.
I hate these kinds of TikTokers. They always want to package things in such a nice and neutral way. It doesn't matter how your body looks, guys. It matters how your body feels. What a wonderful thing to tell everybody that is definitely not misleading at all. How your body feels is more often than not tied to how it looks. I cannot imagine being obese and actually feeling good in that body, because that's just not a thing. It's something I only recently realized after listening to a lot of intelligent sciencey podcasts. They'll never teach this sort of stuff in school because it's offensive, but here's a scientific fact. 90% of your long-term happiness hormone called serotonin is produced in your gut. Meaning, if you're feeding it trash, if you're feeding your gut trash, it is very hard to be happy. Now, you might argue that, oh, I'm very happy eating fast food, but that is dopamine. That is short-term happiness, okay? That's the immediate pleasure you get. But after that, you're not going to be feeling good. And I'm not really coming from a place of, like, hate or anger or anything. I'm coming from, like, personal experience, honestly. I used to eat a lot of sugar all day, every day, and it was absolutely horrible for my health. I used to have random headaches, random pains, even gave me a goddamn disease. But only after fixing my sleep, diet, and exercise did I start to realize the benefits of being healthy. You honestly feel like Superman. There's no such thing as like random headaches that pop up from nowhere, random pains, feeling tired randomly. That just doesn't happen. Your body and your feeling is literally the direct result of the fuel that you feed it. The whole fatphobic movement has only been created because they don't want to be accountable for your actions. It's the central law of the universe. You are literally a product of all the inputs you had several years ago. Meaning, you are simply the result of your previous decades of decisions. Now, as I mentioned, they actually had to rework the episode because people like Dr. Kyla here, who were complaining about how offensive it was, huge Bluey TV fan, but watching Bandit and Chili weigh themselves and openly hate on their bodies in front of the kids was really uncomfortable. The exercise as punishment message did turn around in the end, thankfully. I love the message with being active with your kids, but this wasn't good watching at the start. This is going to be pretty controversial, but honestly, you are allowed to hate your body. Imagine being morbidly obese and you actually hate your own body and you're like, oh my god, I want to change myself, I want to take steps to be better, and everybody around you is like, no, you're perfectly fine, you shouldn't hate your body. Your body's lovely. Stop lying to them. Stop lying, okay? You're literally making it harder for them. These people act like they're the empathetic ones, but they're the ones who want to see you die at 40. Kids do not need to be watching parents hate on their bodies or exercise to get thinner. They missed a big opportunity here. Exercise does have its benefits and is great for our health, I agree, but exercising to look differently isn't the message I want my kids to receive. Why? That is a perfectly valid reason to exercise. Obviously, getting healthier is another perfect valid reason, but if you want to look different, why is that a bad thing? People always try to gaslight you regarding the reasons you're actually doing something, like, oh, exercising to look better is a bad thing because you're not doing it for your health. Like, if it gets you in the gym, it gets you in the goddamn gym, you know? Bluey creators took notice of the complaints and immediately revised the episode for both ABC and the BBC. Okay, so here we have the edited version on top and the original version on bottom. So the bottom has a bathroom scene, and then this one we have, you know, just exercising. Honestly, I'm glad they still kept the message of exercising in, but this revision just did not need to be made, okay? You can't safeguard kids like this forever. Anyways, can we stop being so sensitive? Click this video, or I stop my journey to become Giga Chad. Just kidding, I'll never stop.